Eradicating terrorist headers. Igboho versus Miyetti Allah. This is Diaspora Digital Media. I am Lydia Odwada. It's the DM's update. The report that the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, MACBAN, had urged President Bola Tinubu to arrest and prosecute Yoruba Nation agitator Sunday Igboho, popularly known as Igboho, for treason, because he stated that he returned back to Nigeria to help eradicate armed herders harboring in the deep forests of Southwest and carrying out attacks against farmers and traditional rulers has been described by some Nigerians as very much the character of MACBAN. Because throughout the 8 years administration of Muhammadu Buhari, this same Cattle Breeders Association was known for backing terrorism of armed herders. A human rights group has described MACBAN as a terrorist sympathizer. Recall that on 26th of June 2018, the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, MACBAN, had backed terrorists who massacred hundreds of Plateau State natives when it described the attacks on some communities in Plateau State as an act of retaliation over the killing of 300 cows belonging to its members. The rights group recalled that the suspected herdsmen had around June 26, 2018, attacked Riom, Barikinlade, and Jos South local government areas of the state, killing over 100 persons. But Miyetti Allah's statement came even as fresh attacks on Kui village in Riom local government area of the state claimed one more life in the early hours of the same period in 2018, despite the dusk to dawn curfew declared in the three local government areas. Horiwa said it didn't come to them as a surprise when MACBAN called for the arrest and prosecution of Sunday Igboho for threatening to wipe out terrorists masquerading as herders, killing residents of Southwest, but rather than commend the Yoruba nation for volunteering to eliminate terrorists, MACBAN was rather displaying its support for terrorists by calling for the arrest and prosecution of Sunday Igboho. Horiwa said it is unambiguous that only those who sponsor terrorists wouldn't be happy when someone decides to eradicate terrorists. The MACBAN's national president, Baba Othman Ngelzarma, made the call in response to Igboho's remark that Fulani herders should be expunged from the Southwest. Igboho, who recently returned to Nigeria after about 2 years of detention in Benin Republic, accused Fulani herders of killing farmers in the Southwest. However, Ngilzalma describes Igboho's remark as an unlawful comment that amounts to treason. In a statement he signed, Ngilzalma said, in quotes, "We call on the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu, GCFR, and relevant security agencies to arrest and prosecute Sunday Igboho for making this unlawful statement that amounts to treason, because he is asking for the actualization of Oduduwa nation." He continues his statements. He said his statements are unlawful. If Nnamdi Kanu will be held behind bars for a similar offense, we see no reason why Sunday Igboho will be allowed to go scot-free without being arrested and prosecuted. End of quote. Some Nigerians have described the position of MACBAN as preposterous, puerile, irrational, and irresponsible. A rights group, Horiwa, said it fully backs Sunday Igboho and any patriotic groups willing to wipe out terrorists of any dimension, even if they are herders, because of the massive killing and damages that these armed terrorist herders committed between 2015 and 2023, when the then President Muhammadu Buhari looked the other way and allowed armed Fulani terrorists to unleash a regime of mayhem and mass killings, which the likes of Magban actively supported. Magban is being clever by half by bringing in the name of Nnamdi Kanu in its unwise call for the arrest and prosecution of Sunday Igboho. Recall that President Muhammadu Buhari arrested Nnamdi Kanu because the indigenous people of Biafra were actively spreading the story that the real Muhammadu Buhari had died and that a body double from Sudan was the one acting in his place. In the case of Sunday Igboho, he stated his resolve to wipe off Fulani terrorists. But Magban is trying to smuggle the name of Nnamdi Kanu in an unrelated matter to carry the sympathy of the Southeast. Magban should know that Igbos are as victimized as the Yorubas from the incessant bombardment of their farming communities by terrorist headers, which in any event is the reason why most Nigerians must back any initiative to curb the acts of armed headers. When the killings became worrisome in the Southwest, and the governors of the Southwest led then by the late Ondo State Governor Rotimi Akeredolu-San, decided to set up their Motekun vigilante group, it was Magban and the then President Muhammadu Buhari that kicked against the move and openly canvassed support for the occupation of forestry reserves by armed Fulani terrorists masquerading as headers. So, we are not surprised that Magban is panicking as soon as Sunday Igboho returns to Nigeria after escaping for his dear life when the then President Muhammadu Buhari made several attempts on his life, including sending armed DSS and soldiers to attack Sunday Igboho's Ibadan residence, killing many of his relatives during the nighttime attacks. The security forces should allow volunteers in the Southeast to similarly invade the forest of Southeast and wipe out armed headers hibernating in the Southeast, going by the fact that the Nigerian army recently supported Igboho's remark that he will take out all killer headers in the forest of Southwest. And that's it on DDM's updates. I am Lydia Oduada saying thank you for staying with us.